Hey, thanks again for helping us out with that League of Assassins thing in Nanda Parbat. Oof, that Lady Shiva. Wouldn't say no to a slice of that pie, know what I mean? So...
The DCAU is the best thing ever put on television. You heard it on the internet, so you know it's true.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
For 14 years, we were treated to some of the best DC stuff ever put to screen. 8 different shows telling one connected story that didn't just reinvent what it was adapting, it defined it. It was so good, I was convinced that anything these shows did basically just counted in the comics. And then the comics started thinking that too. So many creations original to the DCAU have crossed over to the comics proper. Renee Montoya, Livewire, Mercy Graves, the absolute unit of a man, the Condiment King. You just know this guy fucks. Not in the comics though. This guy doesn't know what sex is. The DCAU might be the only adaptation to give back just as much as it used from the source material. And I don't think any character better represents that than Harley Quinn.
What are you gonna do? Spank us?
That's right, pigs! And here's the battle! It's time to heat it up, it's time to light the fire! It's my turn to light it up, I want to take you higher. I'm calling all the people to get on up, it's time to set the sync off right. Everybody get ready for this, we gonna have a party tonight.
A background character that started off as just someone to give the Joker some arm candy has since gotten multiple comic runs, several animated movies, a live-action movie with starring roles in 2 others, a still-running 5-season-long cartoon, and a seat at the table with the old gods of Hot Topic. She was only supposed to show up once.
Please, Daddy.
I told you, when I'm finished, you can have what's left.
This is like a multi-million-dollar version of when a fandom latches onto one specific background character. Jim Lee, the current CCO of DC Comics and one of the most influential people in the comics industry, also referred to Harley Quinn as the 4th pillar of DC, right behind Wonder Woman, Batman, and Supes. That is crazy. You don't see like Susie Fish doing anything like that. She doesn't even have a page on WikiFeet. Get out of here. But for me and a lot of the fans, the original version is the one that we all fell in love with. An insanely fun character with a surprisingly deep background. So when I heard they were making a movie based around her DCAU appearance, I was hyped. But then the reviews started pouring in.
How was it? Amazing? You mean astounding? Yeah, you do.
I'm not one to shy away from something just because of public opinion. 2 of the best movies I watched this year barely even cracked 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care what you boo, I've seen what makes you cheer. But with something like the DCAU, which means so much to me and I hold in such high regard, even the thought of a mediocre product was enough for me to keep my distance. But I'm sick of avoiding my problems. It's time to do the adult thing and watch the movie about the man dressed as a bat.
I'm doing my part!
Is this movie truly as bad as people say? Or is the only reason it exists because the artist wanted to draw one-handed? Let's rev up our Harleys and find out.
Vroom, vroom.
Oh, 3-second rule. I'm your host and breakout character, D'Angelo Edwards. And today, let's finally watch this thing.
Terrific. Poison Ivy teaming up with Jason Woodrow. We're in for a ride.
You in particular.
Alright, so the funny opening clip played, so I think I have to talk about this thing for real now. Even though it came out in 2017, the roots for it had been laid out a while ago. Bruce Timm had always talked about wanting to do a more comedic plot about Harley Quinn and Batman working together, taking inspirations from an earlier episode.
I kind of flashed back to an episode of Batman the Animated Series that we did like 20 years ago, where it kind of had a similar kind of story structure where Batman had to team up with Harley to track down the Joker. So I thought that was kind of a good gimmick to get the story started. And then instead I just kind of swapped out Poison Ivy instead of Joker. And then the rest of it was all just kind of, you know, what kind of weird kind of situations we could get them in for 90 minutes and then call it quits.
Jesus, where did they film this interview? I can hear the whole world outside. So Bruce, what are you planning for your next project? That's a good question. I thought I'd make Batman and Barbara bone again. This leads to the basis of the movie, but let's actually talk about the plot first. It follows Batman and surprisingly Nightwing as they seek the aid of Harley Quinn.
So, your plan B is Harley Quinn. God help us.
They need her to help them find Poison Ivy, who's trying to transform everyone on the planet into plant hybrids like her. Only problem is that the formula is so complicated, the smallest error could lead to all life on Earth dying.
Ugh.
Nice and breezy plot for this stupid Harley Quinn movie, right? She's also joined by Floronic Man. You know, that super popular and recognizable DC character, interdimensional dryad with plant powers. Once regrew himself with the power of that sticky icky, starring role in generational hit Batman and Robin? Floronic Man. He's voiced by Principal Lewis this time.
So as soon as we find out who you are, trust you will be dealt with. Period.
Yeah, I don't really know why he's here other than to give Ivy a plant guy to kick it with. He's not bad here though, adds a lot of energy to the Poison Ivy scenes.
He's waking up. I need to keep him hypnotized.
No.
But going back to the plot, it is so high stakes for what's essentially supposed to be a Looney Tunes episode starring Batman. Having all these jokes and horny moments juxtaposed to a literal doomsday scenario just doesn't seem to mesh well. It's like if someone tried to lighten the mood in Oppenheimer.
And now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Not now, Carl. But before we really dig into the stuff that I thought was iffy, let's go over all the stuff I liked. First of all, just hanging around the old BTAS crew again is a treat. Kevin Conroy always does a great job as Batman, and with Nightwing and Harley Quinn tagging along, he has to play the ultimate straight man. And it is some of the most I've laughed at this version of Batman. B-Man isn't having anything from anyone in this movie.
Waited 10 years to get that. I was just... But...
The only time he cuts loose is when he gets a chance to go full Brock Sampson on some thugs.
Okay, boys. Let's dance.
In an interview from ScienceFiction.com, geez, like all of it, Kevin said that while Batman didn't make any jokes in the movie, he got a lot of humor out of him by just deadpanning a lot. And I agree.
Oh my god, stop the car!
No.
DCAU Batman has always been hilarious just because of how stiff he could be, especially in the later years. I don't know if any Justice League scene will ever top a sleep-deprived Batman ordering espresso and fighting to stay awake.
The doctor will see you now.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to cancel that appointment.
That's pretty posh. The movie even pokes some fun at him for thinking so hard he overlooks the obvious.
All of the crazy crap he got stuffed into that belt and you didn't think to bring bug spray? To a friggin' swamp?
I love this Batman, and this is once again another solid performance from the late great Kevin Conroy.
Big fan.
Something I was excited about though was seeing Nightwing again in a starring role. After the new Batman adventures, it felt like the DCAU was allergic to Dick. And he was only in like 6 or 7 episodes of that. The most he does after that is turn his head in an episode of Justice League Unlimited. Yeah, thanks for that, Yellow Diamond, really needed that. But Nightwing has always been my favorite member of the Bat family, so seeing him again was awesome. They might have to send his barber to Arkham though, cause this is not it.
I want to feather it! Come here!
I do kinda like the irises showing in his mask though, helps to separate him from Batman. I'm not gonna lie, as good as it is to see Nightwing, my boy is a menace in this movie. He was always the more streetwise of the two back when he was Robin. Dude was not afraid to disrespect a goon. No wonder they called him Dick the way he was handing out nutshots.
That shit hurting!
And that is cranked to 11 in this movie. He spends a lot of time tracking down Harley, and as soon as he finds her, it's basically on sight.
You haven't reported to your parole officer in months. I should just drag your crazy ass back to jail right now.
He starts egging her on until a full-on brawl breaks out. And Nightwing is more than happy to oblige. He is putting hands on Harley. I don't think I've even seen him hit the Joker this hard.
That shit hurting!
Though Harley does not make it easy for him. She gives just about as good as she gets. It's such a brutal fight. Honestly, that's one of the things that this movie nails. It has some of the best fight scenes I've seen in a DCAU project, and I am being so serious. The choreography is on point. They have fun with all the improvised moves and camera angles. I had a blast watching these scraps, though it's not really that surprising. They used to always be throwing those freight trains into DCAU. Soups was handing out 2-piece combos like he worked at Popeyes. I will say that it feels like Nightwing was a little too eager to fight the girls in this. When him and Bats confront Ivy and Floronic Man, he goes straight to Ivy. He really took it to heart when Batman said that the hammer of justice is unisex. Besides this little cusso, him and Harley probably get along the best in this movie. Mostly cause he was down to clown till he's dead in the ground.
The things I do for Gotham.
The speed of him going from kicking her butt to doing other stuff to it needs to be studied. Kinda like how whoever drew this needs to study anatomy.
I swear I saw it. 2 butts.
Joker is crazy to let a girl with 4 butt cheeks get away. Let me just yeah, that's better. Anyway, they do kinda bond in this. They crack jokes together, he comforts her. He actually convinces Batman to let her keep helping them. It's not too bad a dynamic, if a little all over the place. And again, he's funny. There's a great scene where Booster Gold calls Batman, voiced by Bruce Timm by the way, and he is adamant about him not wanting to work with any jobbers on the mission.
I only got a handful of guys here on standby. I could send, let's see, Black Condor, Elongated Man, Triumph.
It's moments like this that really made me wish we got more of him in other stuff. In spite of that, at least he's here, and hearing Lauren Lester as Dick again after so long was really nice.
To be able to go back with this film and do this all over again, it's not something you really get to do in this business.
But I think it's time to get to the main star of the movie.
What of her?
This is a horror, not a comedy.
Failure is not an option.
I knew it. These guys are vampires.
Guilty as charged.
When's the last time you've seen black people in a cemetery at night?
Think about the things that got you to use the power when you first bonded to it.
No turning back. Aren't you gonna? Don't you need?
I don't make deals with psychopaths.
Sociopath. So-she-o-path.
The movie shows Harley Quinn completely removed from the Joker. He doesn't show up. I think they only mention him like once or twice, and that's more just talking about the Joker venom. This is a Harley Quinn that is doing her best to get her life back together, and it is not going well.
Oh sure, I got a ton of offers. We got a very special role for you in Bad Girls After Dark. And you gotta love this one. A tasteful pictorial to be shot in Thailand for legal reasons.
I'd watch that. I'd watch that.
There aren't many job openings for the former girlfriend of a supervillain. Can you imagine the interviews?
This look I think is so fun and dare I say bold. Bold to come out as a sexy clown.
You really start to feel bad for Harley. She lives in that terrible neighborhood, even for Gotham, and the only place she can find work at is Super Babes, a superhero-themed Hooters-type restaurant. Which, while hilarious in concept, all these heroes are like real dudes. I doubt you got Supergirl's permission for this. Doesn't help that guys keep trying to grab her whoopee cushions either.
Hey chick, this crazy broad broke my frickin' arm!
So when Batman and Nightwing come to her for help in finding Ivy, she sees it as an opportunity to get into his good graces and maybe get out of this hole she dug herself into.
And then, when this whole thing is over, you're gonna put in a good word for me with the parole board. Tell them what a fine, upstanding citizen I am, etc., etc.
No.
And all of that is fine and good, and it can be a lot of fun watching her interact with them, constantly annoying Batman and going off to do her own thing. She put the whole investigation on hold just to chase after an old boyfriend of hers. She even leads them to what might be my favorite part of the movie, a bar for all the hench people of Gotham. Tons of fun cameos like Captain Clown from The Last Laugh and one of Mr. Freeze's Ice Maidens from Cold Comfort. The best part though is Rob Paulson, who plays Two-Face's twin henchman as they sing an amazing duet together. Like, I know we all knew he had pipes since Yakko's World, but this is an entirely different experience and I love it.
Don't pull your love out on me, honey. Take my heart, my soul, my money, but don't leave me drowning in my tears.
Even Harley does a song, and she really shows off her talents in it.
Come sign this, baby girl.
Oh, okay.
You genuinely already did it.
All right, thank you.
Not every moment with Harley is gonna land with everyone though. I bet a healthy amount of people turn this thing off after Harley lets it rip in the Batmobile.
Ugh! Holy! It's not so bad. Smells like discipline.
Reminds me of that fart comic they did for Harley Quinn. You guys know that thing is Scratch and Sniff? Who is that for? I skimmed through it with Terrific Tariq, and to be honest, it is insane that they let them get that off. But hey, get this vid to like, I don't know, 5k likes and I promise I will buy the mint condition issue of it and we can go on that journey together. It's even sealed for freshness. But yeah, this version of Harley is not going to be for everyone, down to who they got to voice her. Even before she sadly passed away, Arlene Sorkin, the original voice of Harley Quinn, had retired from the role, saying the voice put too much of a strain on her. Since then, she's mostly been played by Tara Strong and Kaylee Kuko in animated stuff. But this time, they decided to get Melissa Raunch to play her.
You know, I'm starting to rethink this whole deal. Here I am, helping you guys out, pro boner I might add, and you gotta go and get all mega control freaky on me.
That means they got 2 out of 3 of the big babes to play Harley so far. They just need Amy and they got the whole Triforce. I think she does a good job here, and she even manages to bring out some good emotion in Harley.
I forgot to water it! Well, what if I forget to water myself?
But it took me a while to get used to the voice. I did warm up to it, but I think the problem mostly just came from her being around all the other original voice actors. So her voice kinda sticks out. Alright, this is post-video D'Angelo. I actually realized the reason the voice bothers me is it's just Bernadette doing Howard's mom's voice in Big Bang. It's so weird.
Does he like the pancakes? He didn't try them yet!
Not a big deal though in my opinion, but there are some things in this movie that are a big deal, and I think it's time we talked about those.
Harley, there are lives at stake.
Oh my god! Yeah, the whole world's gonna plots. I get it.
Are you serious? No, what?
First of all, tonally, this movie is a mess. I mentioned it earlier, but the stakes are way too high for this kind of movie.
Pammy, honey, you gotta give up this crazy plan. It's really nutsoid. Please don't turn us all into veggie people. Gotta be another way. You're tampering with things man was never meant to know.
This definitely sounds like the kind of plot Poison Ivy would cook up, but setting it on a global scale feels like a mistake to me. I think if the threat was localized to Gotham, it would make way more sense. Because in what world would Batman not ask for real help in a matter like this? As stubborn as he is, I don't think Batman would think twice about making a quick call to the League to, I don't know, save the world. They made the joke about most of the heavy hitters being busy with a black hole or comet or something.
And a bunch of them are at that christening at Aquaman's place, and you know the reception down there kind of sucks.
First of all, what sense does that make? Aquaman lives underwater. That kid was born baptized. And they couldn't take a break for a second? I feel like Flash could have just ran around Gotham for a while and found her like that. I know they wanted to keep this contained to Gotham, but if that's the case, then the threat should have been contained too. Speaking of the threat, the villains feel kinda disconnected from the main story most of the time. Ivy being the main villain makes a lot of sense in a Harley Quinn movie, but most of the time, it just focuses on the Bat Gang with small flashes of Ivy and Floronic Man. I would have liked to have seen them more and for them to interact more with the heroes. I really enjoy Floronic Man, even if it is just Kevin Michael Richardson doing Principal Lewis again. He has such a crazy way of talking.
No more will this be a world of screaming meat!
Hey, don't you talk to me about screaming meat. I just watched that dance scene. The movie is really short too, barely over an hour. By the time it feels like it's kicking in, it's over. I wanted to see at least one more fight, maybe against some plant monsters or something. They could have been failed experiments based on the formula Ivy was trying to use. At least we got a pretty good climactic fight though, with Ivy and Harley seriously going at it. Like, could Ivy always box like this? And speaking of the fights, I know earlier I praised how good they look, but that comes at a steep price. Whenever they aren't fighting or doing a big chase scene, this thing barely moves. Like, it is noticeable. They start looking like PNGs. Hey, Nightwing, you still there, buddy? It's just kinda jarring. Also, I feel like they made Harley a little too chaotic in this. She can't sit still for a second, even when she knows that billions of lives are at stake.
For all I know, you might decide at the last minute that Ivy's plan doesn't sound so cockeyed after all. Because the wind changed direction, or because it's Thursday.
And then they try and do these big emotional scenes that just fall flat, because you feel like she'll forget about it by the next scene. Like I said, this thing is a tonal nightmare, right down to the ending, when after all seems lost, Swamp Thing shows up. And what you think will be the Deus Ex Machina of the movie. They've been teasing him the whole time, and when he finally does show, he basically just says, "It'd be like that," and pieces out.
But he didn't do anything.
Didn't he, Lisa? Didn't he? Hey, wait a minute. He didn't!
The craziest thing is that even with two of the greatest detectives in the DC universe working on this, all it takes is one suggestion from Harley Quinn to fix it.
Well, he's all leafy and everything. Anybody got a match?
Now, I do think this is a funny bit, but I mostly just think it's stupid. He didn't think once to light the plant dude on fire? Reddit is right, Batman is overrated. Again, I think this just goes back to the tone. You could do stupid jokes like this if the plot was just Ivy stealing a rare plant or taking over the city. It just doesn't fit. And speaking of fitting, bear with me now, because this is what really gets me, and I'm gonna sound like a huge nerd for the next few minutes. I mean, more than usual. So, this movie can't be canon, right? I know Bruce Timm says it is, and it uses the same art style as the show, and even gets the same voice actors, But Brainiac Attack does all that too, and it is confirmed not canon. And the reason that this one can't be canon is that there is nowhere for it to fit into the timeline. This is obviously set in a post-Justice League world, since Bats gets a call from the Watchtower, and that's all cool and fine, but Nightwing looks older here. Bulkier, taller. He looks at least 2 to 3 years older to me. Also, Tim Drake, Robin, that took over after Dick left, is nowhere to be seen. In Return of the Joker, it's shown that he stops being Robin after being kidnapped and tortured by the Joker, along with Harley Quinn, turning him into a little clone of the Joker. Now, does this movie take place before or after that? Because it can't be either. If it's before, why is Nightwing older? Why is Batman with the Justice League? And where the heck is Robin in all of this? I feel like Batman could have used all the help he could get. And there is no way Tim Drake is helping with that black hole. And if it's after, why is Batman working with Harley Quinn? This is the same lady who kidnapped, brainwashed, and destroyed the mind of someone who Bruce thought of as a son. And now he's kissing her?
It just don't add up!
Not to mention, that movie was the last time she was ever seen in that universe. Like, she was basically presumed dead until she popped up as an old lady at the end of Return of the Joker.
Break her grandmother's heart!
So it can't be after, and it can't be any other time either, because in the official tie-in comic, we see Harley fully ditching her old look and adapting her more modern outfit. Man, it is so weird to see her look like this in the old DCAU style, especially when they try and get her into the Task Force X. Couldn't call it that back then. By the way, the tie-in comics for this are pretty fun. The first 5 issues are more of a prequel that sets up the movie, but the last 7 are more character-focused stories that follow everyone in the movie. I really like the Nightwing one, where he just goes back to Super Base because he misses Harley. She really rocked his world. My dude is hurting. Pussy really does hit different.
Honk, honk.
Oh yeah. I also like the detail that he changed his hair because she made fun of it. The comics feel more like what the movie should have been, but I guess you can just fit more into a 12-issue series than a 1-hour movie. So, sorry Brucey, no matter how much you squint, I just can't see this fitting into the canon.
Pure fiction, not canon, ignore it.
It is what it is, and what it is a sloppy mess that I couldn't help but be annoyed and charmed by. And if that isn't a metaphor for Harley Quinn, I don't know what is.
Harley Quinn reporting for duty, sir!
God help us.
Oh, please, Mr. Kinda Scary, but actually really nice Batman. Please let me come with you.
Harley.
You know what I am?
My punishment for dropping out of med school.
Gonna fly right out of here without a single word.
I was just...
But you know you'll break my heart when I watch you close that door. 'Cause I know I won't see you anymore. Don't pull your...
Batman and Harley Quinn isn't perfect. Far from it. It gets a lot of things wrong, and I don't think anyone is wrong for not liking it. But there is something here that I think is still worth watching. I like the more relaxed tone, the fights, the character interactions. But some of the humor, animation, and tonal whiplash keep this from hitting as hard as it could have. But I also think people get a little too uppity about the DCAU. And I'm saying that as someone who gets too uppity about the DCAU. I think more experiments like this would have been cool. And obviously there's something to a more comedic DC story, even in the DCAU, because of how popular Harley Quinn is. Teen Titans Go too, but
Guess you guys aren't ready for that yet.
I'm not gonna act like this thing is a masterpiece, and I'm definitely not gonna act like it's part of the timeline. But what it is messy, loud, obnoxious, and a ton of fun.
There's so much I wanna do. I've got love enough for 2, but I'll never use it, girl, if I don't have you. Don't put your love out on my baby. If you do, then I think that maybe I'll just lay me down. Cry for a hungry. Don't put your love out on me, honey. Take my heart, my soul, my
just came to death. Don't try to fight it.